Um, where were you born?
I was born in Osceola, Arkansas.
Okay.
It's Osceola. That's
What was the reason you and your family moved to Kalamazoo?
my dad moved my family to Kalamazoo for employment, for work, and for just a better, to provide a better life for his children.
What side of town did you grow up on?
I lived on the north side. I lived right off of on Crum Avenue, right off of Patterson.
Oh. Hold on. Were your parents, did they focus a lot on your school career, or?
Yes, they did. When we were young, they always bought a lot of books, and we were at the library a lot, Kalamazoo Public Library. And I was always an avid reader. I was reading by the time I was 4 years old. So
Wow.
I always loved books.
Well, that's cool. Okay. Did you face a lot of racism in your childhood?
Yeah, well, we always faced, as a black person, that's just a part of growing up in America. You face racism. And of course, during that period, during the 40s and 50s, it was a bad period for racism. And I went to Lincoln School and Central School, Old Central, off West Edge Avenue. And we were kind of separated. We were kind of, in our own little group.
Well, were there any, like, outrageous times? Like,
During that period of time, I don't know if you know very much about the history of racism and lynching, but there was a young person called Emmett Till who was murdered during that period of time. And of course his murderers never faced any justice. They were never convicted of anything for it.
Yeah.
I like baseball. My father started the first black baseball team in Kalamazoo.
Wow.
He and my uncle.
That's cool. What were the cool things to have when you were younger?
So long ago, I can't think what the cool things were. I guess some of the same things, clothing and music. Interested in some of the same things you're interested in. It was just a different time. What was I like as a child?
Yeah, like.
I was really introverted. I kept to myself quite a bit. And like I say, I read a lot. It was not that I was antisocial, because I did have a lot of friends and I was involved in a group and all of that, but I was still pretty much a quiet person, introverted a lot. I withdrew within myself a lot.
If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be?
I would have gone to college if I could. I always wanted to get into the medical field. I was interested in medicine. And I wanted to be a doctor when I was growing up, but my parents could never afford to go on with that higher education. My goal in life was just to be a good father, and I think I accomplished that goal.
We were researching chess records. You said, what was it like working? Were they like? What were their rules and things?
Chess Records was the premier record company back in those days, especially for black artists. And the English artists, when they came over, like the Beatles and all of those groups, they came over. They started listening to all the black music, and they had to come back and introduce black music to the young American audience, because we were so segregated until they had never heard it. And so the Beatles, and they first started recording. They recorded for Chess Records also. when they their first recordings here in the United States.
Did your mother have a strong opinion about your music?
They weren't too enthused over it because we did a lot of traveling outside of the state, so they were kind of worried about that.